finish? Huh. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it didn't like you. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, but it shouldn't be. If you're not done, it doesn't lock, so none of it locks. Probably some kind of Wi-Fi. Yeah, it should have been okay then. Okay, because that thing, that's not even like that's through, yeah, it's not even through me, so, okay. Okay, so, here we go. I'm going to be super brief because several of you have several errands to run, so pay attention. Okay, so, when we talked about quadratics, the a is always the number that goes in front of the x squared, the b is the number that goes in front of x, and the c is the constant that's by itself. So we learned to factor, Cassie, a times c and b. A times c and b. We drew the little t-chart. So we factored that way, and we also factored using the quadratic formula. And so you all got taught how to complete the square, but you never use it until what we're about to do now and the conics section that we're going to do, and you'll need it for that too. So I'm going to just start reviewing this. It's pretty easy. So when we're completing the square, I want to write this as a perfect square. And what that means is I want it to be written like x minus something squared or x plus something squared. Okay, so that's a perfect square. So to do that, to write it as a perfect square, we complete the square. And this is how we do this. We write down, instead of focusing on the a times c, just write down the b. That's what I want to write down. The b is negative 28. So then I'm going to write down the b divided by 2. And the b divided by 2 is negative 14. And the b divided by 2 squared is 196. So to complete the square, we're going to use this number right here. This is 196. And to write it as a perfect square, I'm going to write use the b over 2, which is x minus 14 squared. So watch. If I multiply, x times x gives me x squared. Negative 14 gives me negative 28. Negative 14 times negative 14 is 196. So I get the exact same thing back. Okay? So I'm just going to write this as a perfect square. Isaac, it's not on your phone. So this is the answer right there. So for number 2, the b is negative 6. The b divided by 2 is negative 3. So I'm going to add 9. That goes there. And when I write this as a perfect square, I get m minus 3 squared. b divided by 2 is negative 3. Squared is a positive 9. Yep. Okay. So look, I'm showing you this because we need this on the back. All right. This is the perfect square right here. So look, we don't have to write the whole thing out if you know how to do it. So b over 2 squared. What is my b this time? So this is 25. If I'm going to write this as a perfect square, I just write as x plus 5 squared. So this one, the b over 2 squared is 121. To write it as a perfect square, it's n plus 11 squared. So on number 5, b over 2 squared is going to give me 36. And this, hey! P minus 6. I'm going to punch you. Such language. What? What? My kids? Not in front of me. Yeah. So, on the back. So this is what I want to do. I would like to complete the square and actually solve something. So, I have to start. I want to move the 67 to the other side. Okay, so what goes here now? The 16, right? So, b divided by 2 squared is 16. You guys just told me how easy this was. So, what I add to one side, I have to add to the other. So I want to write this as a perfect square. So this is n minus 4 squared equals, thank you. So I have to square root it. It is easy. Yes. Okay, so 17, or number 7, add the 17. So b divided by 2 is 1. Squared is 1, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So on this side, I have 25. And to write this as a perfect square now, b divided by 2 is minus 1. So what do I do next? Take the square root on both sides. So 25 is 5, correct? And so when I add the 1, I put it in front always. And so then I actually get 2 answers. 1 plus 5 is 6, and 1 minus 5 is negative 4. I want to do one more where we have to simplify the... Let's try this one. So if I have b squared minus 12b equals negative 6 plus 49, is that 43? Negative 6, okay. Whew. So b divided by 2 squared, 36, so I'm going to add 36 on both sides. Wait, it's 79. Square root. Okay, so this is how you're going to do all of them. The only thing we haven't worked yet, if I got right here, if my answer was this, Can I simplify the square root of 24? Yes. So all of these, like the 91 and the 79, they didn't simplify. But if you can simplify the 24, you have to do that. Yes, you have to. So if you get a pair, the pair goes on the outside.
Well, I never got how to do that. I didn't either.
So, yeah. So if you did the tree, do the tree.